Army set up a medical tent on the top of this hill where they're handing out aid. I was able to spend an afternoon in this triage tent and get a lot of footage of what kind of difference that the U.S. military was making in Haiti. For me personally, it was a rewarding experience, and all in all, it's nice to be able to be part of a humanitarian effort. It's definitely a highlight of my military career.
There was a couple times I remember this one lady with bright red hair that came up, the Pakistani pilot. You could see the desperation, in her face. And she grabbed his arm and was begging him for food and thanking him for what government had allowed us to do and what we were doing there, and bringing them the relief. The C-17s would go in and they'd fly a couple lines dropping these things. And it was kind of neat. You'd fly over village, be pretty low level, and just dropping these pallets out the back. Watching them go is kind of amazing. We'd be out on the back ramp as they were flying by, and you'd see when they opened up, you'd always be looking for that one that was going to burn in, and they kind of look like just giant green jellyfish floating through the sky, landed in some obscure area in the desert.
We were out on a patrol, and white sriracha went around our convoy and actually hit an IED in place by anti-Afghan forces. So we had to do recovery for the site. We pulled security for the entire night, and one of my favorite images from that day, when a Marine was throwing a Raven into the sky, turned out to be one of my favorite images from my deployment. I'm really proud of it.
My favorite day of shooting at Red Flag was us coming up to a tanker in the middle of nowhere and having 10 other jets up there waiting for gas as well. So everybody, the blue side, the red side, everybody together, all going to the same tanker to get gas, and then they split apart to go fight each other.
Combined endeavor, we actually got to use a jib. A jib is like where you put the camera on what's kind of like a crane arm. We were able to get like some really unique shots, because we had that jib that we otherwise wouldn't have been able to get. We were able to get this sweet shot where I just come down like right in front of the commander's face, and then it's like, these salutes and everything. It's not what I expected, but it really turned out great.
Shooting the different aircraft, refueling. I was used to being on the other end, actually being in the aircraft that gets refueled. This time I actually got to see the plane come in and get on the boom. It's kind of cool. In order to get the best shot back there where the boom is, you have to lay down next to him, and you could switch sides. I'm right-handed. It was easier for me to be on the right-hand side to shoot. Then if I wanted to get more aircraft in the frame, I could move to the left side.
Weapons training was challenging because I had never touched an M4 or an M9 before. The only training I had was in basic training when we shoot an M16. It was challenging, but I feel very confident after going through the course for 2 weeks. I feel confident that I could deploy and feel comfortable with my weapon. My favorite shot when I shot JFEX was actually when they were dropping pallets, and I was with some Army soldiers. They were calling out, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh." I guess the aircraft was dropping the pallets about 20 feet away from us, and they weren't supposed to do that. So everybody was running around and scrambling, and I was trying to get a good shot. So I wasn't as scared as I should have been, and I was able to get a cool shot of the pallets dropping on the ground. In the past, a lot of the Army soldiers didn't want us around for the exercise because we give their position away. And so during this particular shoot, I just kept inching forward like a half an hour, an hour. I would get closer and closer to the soldiers until I felt comfortable with me shooting them. And to the point where they knew I wasn't going to give away their position. And I just sat on the ground and I put the camera on my leg and on the ground because I didn't have a tripod. And one of the guys' weapons got jammed, and I just decided to try to get a close-ups of that because his weapon was jammed for about 5 or 10 minutes. So I knew I was able to get matching action there.